Hello, replay viewers. Thank you for coming. Hi, everybody. Hello. Thank you for coming in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Invite anybody that is a new teacher, that's teaching, that is in school to be a teacher, anybody that you think would benefit from a new teacher tip talk. So come on in if you're a new teacher. Yay! Hi, Misty. Yes, okay, so hopefully it's beneficial. Over break, I was brainstorming. I was brainstorming my word for 2016, and I was trying to think of my word is to be present, so to put myself out there more. And hello, thanks for coming in. Keep inviting followers, anybody that would benefit. Toot toot. And I was just like, what is my thing? And a lot of you that have heard me talk about this, about me trying to figure out what my thing was going to be. My thing is that I'm not a veteran teacher. And, okay, my lamp makes me look like I've got like, so I'm not a veteran teacher, and I feel like I could help people because of that. So because I'm on the newer end of teaching, and I asked for a lot of advice getting through my first couple of years, and I always asked veteran teachers. And when they would talk to me and help me, they always came from points of view of, I've been doing this for a long time, here's my ideas. And I don't know, it was never... It was helpful, but like it wasn't, because they came from experience and I was coming from no experience. And so I thought that you asking questions to me as a newer teacher, I can come from the perspective of I just went through it. And the way teaching is now, it's different from teaching was 10 years ago. So I can give my input. Everybody that's inside of the comments can give their input of anything they would try. Me too! Okay, so that's what I was thinking behind this, that it would have been nice to have somebody to ask that was in the newer years of teaching, how did you get through this? What's something that I can do, or something I can try, or something that I could possibly expect in my first couple of years of teaching? And that's what I'm here for. So if this is a beneficial scope, and give me hearts if you think it is a beneficial scope to you. On Wednesdays, I thought that I would do like a new teacher talk. And student teachers, kids, or like teachers that are still in school, that want to become a teacher, teachers that are in their first couple years of teaching, can come together. Veterans too would be great to have in here, because you can also give advice. Give advice, talk about things that we go through. You can tell me your struggles that you're going through this year, because we might have shared the same exact thing, and odds are we probably have. So I thought Wednesdays would be my new teacher talk, and I don't think there's one on Periscope, so this is going to be my thing that I've been searching for, is new teachers. And so I'm here for you, new teachers. I saw somebody ask how long I've been teaching. It's been secretive because I don't want my parents to know exactly how long. I don't know if they would be uncomfortable, but this is my 4th year. So 3.5 years I've been teaching. All years have been in 1st grade. I student taught in 3rd, but my experience, I've been with the district that I've been with for years. I already have my 5-year pin, and I got that 5-year pin when I was working in the library at a school, and I was still doing practicum. So I've been in the district for a long time. Before we start talking, my past has been, I've worked in daycares, I've worked in every age group between infant all the way to 6th grade. or I guess infant through 12 years old. I've worked in daycares forever. When I left daycare, I worked at Kids Corner as an after-school program in the district that I'm working in. I student taught. I never told my first class. I didn't either. I didn't tell my first class it was my first year. And my year went really well. And I don't know how many of them found out. But anyway, so I worked in Kids Corner for many years in the district that I work in now. I did the majority of my volunteer work in the district that I work in now. I did a lot of my practicum in the district I'm in now. And then I student taught in the district I'm in now. And that's what got me my job. Here's a tip. If you're in school, I stayed in the district that I work in now for the majority of my schooling because I wanted my face to be out there. I wanted teachers to know me, to get to know me, to work with me. And so the more contacts, the more classrooms that I was in, was the more people that could contact principals that would vouch for me to work in their schools. So first tip of my Wednesday New Teacher Talk is to be in the district that you would like to apply in. Because before I got my job, I was already working in my district for 7 to 8 years. Do you stay in one? No, I worked in 5 or 6 schools in the district that I work in now, not including the school that I'm in, that I work in, that I teach in. Because in Kids Corner, I worked around, but I also, when I worked in the after-school program, before school let out, I contacted a lot of them, and outside of school, I would ask them to just be a fly on the wall. So I didn't get any credit for it, except for the experience that I was gaining. And so I would ask teachers, can I sit in your classroom and just observe what you do? And I did that with every single grade level because I wanted to see every grade level and how it worked. And I did that with multiple teachers because every teacher is different. So every school that I was transferred to for Kids Corner, I would always ask teachers if I could just sit in their class and be a fly on the wall. And you know what a lot of the teachers ended up doing? They put me to work. And I never turned that down. I mean, I didn't get any college credit for working in those classrooms, but I got credit because I knew that I was learning something that school was not going to teach me. Because I'm going to tell you one thing. School will not solely get you through your first year of class. And let me have an amen if anyone agrees. Did school get you through your first year, or did the experience get you through your first year? Because experience got me through my first year. School did not help that much. So let me get an amen if experience got you through and not schoolwork, like solely alone. It was experience for me. Amen, amen, amen. So ask as many teachers as you can. I don't care if you're still in school, if you're doing practicum or what. Just walk into schools, get to know people, and just ask them. I'm still learning too, and Misty's been teaching longer than I have. And you're always still learning. Yeah, exactly. That is perfect what you just said. Anybody can get an education degree, but it's not meant for everybody to be in education. So it's that first year, and in my district, they say the first 3 years make or break a teacher. If you were meant to teach, you'll find out within those first 3 years if teaching was meant for you. And so my best advice that I could ever give a brand new teacher that's still in school is to be in the classroom more than your classrooms are asking you to. I was in the classroom for hundreds of hours. Hundreds of hours. I think I took my volunteer work when I was getting my associate's degree. I took it for honors credit because I was in there forever. If I wasn't in school that morning, I was in another school in a classroom learning. And you're going to learn more by sitting in another classroom and working with small groups or roaming the room, helping students and experiencing how to do management. You will learn more by being in a classroom than you will being in your classroom getting your degree. Yes, try and sub. In Arizona, though, you need a degree to sub. So it's hard to sub. But yes, I learned more by being in the classroom and learning from the teachers and the students, management especially, more than I did being in the classroom earning my degree. So definitely, yes, finding a mentor. Not every new teacher is paired up with a mentor. I was not. And I kind of had, I went out and I kind of found a mentor. And she still is. She thinks of me as her little sister, and she helps me a ton. But yes, if you are not paired with a mentor at your new school, kind of seek one out, because there's always a teacher that wants to help a new teacher. So that was a great point too. It's your first year of teaching. If you are not paired with somebody to talk to, go seek one out. That's somebody that you can check in with weekly, and to just sit and kind of talk about, how did your week go? What was a struggle that you had, and how can I help with that struggle? And have somebody to talk to for sure. My family knows. My first year of teaching, they know. So yeah, ask questions. Every Wednesday I will be here. And if you have questions, if you're still in school, if you're student teaching and you know that you're about to teach something and you want maybe an idea, I'm super creative. And I come up with like games and activities kind of on the fly. One of my parents in my conference today told me that her son says that the day never seems the same because I come up with new things to so yeah, share if you have friends that think they're going to benefit, and ask questions, and we can help each other. We can help each other through your schooling. We can help each other through your practicum. We can help each other for your first few years. How did you study for your certification test? Fabulous question. I found a solid group of people studying for their test, and we made a day that we would sit there and study weekly. And it was a solid group of people that you knew were not going to flake out on you. It was people that were dedicated to studying for that test that would do it with you weekly. So I had 2 people that I always studied with. We got all the materials, and we just sat there with the book, and we went through the pieces of the test. I'm going to tell you, Arizona's test, I'm going to say mostly common sense. I took both of my certification tests in the same day, and my mom's in here, and she remembers that day. I went through both of the tests in the same day, and I came home stressed as all get out because I crossed my fingers that I passed them, and I passed them just fine. But find a group of people or one solid person in your class that wants to study with you and dedicate an hour or 2 a week to study with you, and work on it. It was a long day. That was my mom, the cardinal. It was a long day. But it was worth it in the end because I passed them both just fine. I didn't need to stress. And you have to trust yourself too, that you're walking in there and that you're going to do great. You're taking your first one February. Okay, so Shirai, find like one good study buddy and schedule a time each week that you're going to dedicate to studying for the test. Yeah, see, my mom wishes you good luck. She knows. Ideal classroom. Oh, I missed it. I missed that one. Yes, everybody wishes you the best, Shirai. You'll do fantastic. We'll be rooting for you on February 20th. We'll all be rooting for you. Any other questions? That was a good one. This was a good first start to my Wednesday. My Wednesday new teacher talk. Any other questions for a new one? Thank you. I was hoping so. There's no other talk like this on Periscope that helps new teachers. It's all about how to organize and, how to do this and reading and everything else. But it's like, but how do I just do it? Like, how do I just get through my first year? I don't even know how to organize because I don't know what to organize yet. Everything is new. You're starting from scratch. I mean, I collected everything. And again, my mom can vouch for me. I collected everything. I had like buckets and tubs full of things that I've created and collected. And then I was hired in first grade and had like nothing. I had 2 filing cabinets and they were empty. And I had to start teaching with empty filing cabinets. And it's the harsh truth. Some of you will start with nothing. I started with nothing. And you just become best friends with your standards. You get really tight with your team. If you have I am a hoarder too. You get really tight with your team, and you just work through it. Find a mentor, and you work through it, and you'll realize quick. My team was amazing. If you've got a helpful team, yes, exactly. Everything I inherited was old. I couldn't use hardly any of it because Common Core standards changed so much. So I ended up having to sort through boxes from an old teacher, and I saved very little, and I had to recycle the rest. It's tough. But you have to find a good mentor that's going to talk with you each week. Talk to your team. Tell them you're having a hard time or that you don't have something, because they can't read your mind. They won't know. Being told I cared too. Yes. And me too. But you have to remember, as a new teacher, you're working with teachers that may be veteran teachers. And it's been a while since they've been a new teacher, and so they won't always know to ask you if you need something. Big tip number 2. They don't know to ask you that you need help with something. They will go and teach like they always do in the grade level that they know, and they will not always remember to ask if you need something or have something for what you're about to teach. So, because they're not used to having to ask. So you need to, your first year of teaching, second year too, third year too, you have to be very verbal if you don't have something that you need. Or if you have something and maybe the first day you taught measurement, for example, you taught measurement and it bombed. Don't freak out. Ask your team, how did you teach measurement? And they'll give you an idea. They'll give you a worksheet that they might have used. They might give you a smartboard lesson that they used that you didn't know was out there. Ask them. Tell them, my lesson bombed. I need something to help me teach it tomorrow. How long before you felt like you were in a groove? Sure, I don't. I have a schedule. I do have that. And I've taught first grade for 3 years. So I have an idea of how long it takes me to teach a subject. I never teach the subject the same way, so I never feel that groove. I have better time management, I'll say. Over the years, I get better time management. Because I know that it takes about this long for my kids to understand, okay, again, for example, measurement. They get measurement within like a week and a half, they're solid. So I don't obsess over going over it so much like I did my first year, because my first year I thought that they wouldn't get it. It was too hard. And they surprised me. So I would say I probably have the best groove this year, because this is the year I've had the most experience teaching these subjects. But my time management is better. You just have to know your standards to get that groove. But definitely with experience, you feel that. But you also feel it from your class too. Like if my class is on their A game, my day flows. If they're off, if I have one student that is off that like the rest of your class feels it and then they all kind of start to crumble, my groove is off. And so I completely have to scrap my plans and do something different because my class is off. So that's like what you're saying, that groove that you feel, it totally depends on your class too. I don't know if anybody else agrees with that. If that helped. Did that answer your question? Let me know if I didn't completely answer what you were asking to. Okay. Any other questions for today's session of New Teacher Talk Wednesdays? Any more? So I gave 2 like really solid tips today. Some days do great and other days are like, what the fuck? Agreed. Today was a WTF day, I'm going to have to say, because my kids were just kind of off. And if you've seen my past scopes, you've seen my my vocabulary dance game. And they get up and they dance and they do like all this crazy stuff, they're up and moving. And today I made the mistake because they were not feeling it. They were really rowdy and talkative today. And those kind of days, I normally would not do such an active game because they get out of control. Today, totally felt that situation out wrong. And they did the vocabulary thing and they were out of control. And so I had to stop it. And tip number 3, don't be afraid to stop a lesson when it's not going well. If your class is not getting what you are teaching, do not continue the lesson because you feel like you have to. Stop the lesson if it's not working. Absolutely. Thank you. I got an agree right there. If your kids are losing what you're saying and you keep teaching it that way, your kids will become so unfocused that then you're creating a whole new problem because behaviors come out. Because they don't understand what you're talking about. You lost them. So instead of now dealing with kids that lost focus, they have no idea what you're talking about, and because of that, your behaviors are coming out, stop the lesson. Tell the kids, I feel that I'm not explaining it to the best of my ability. We'll come back to this tomorrow. And just stop it. Or you can always have a plan B. I keep plan Bs in my back pocket. I stop the lesson. I tell them that why I stopped the lesson. Because I don't want them to feel like it's their fault. It's not. I'm just explaining something a little bit different and they're not understanding the way. And that depends on your class. That's why I teach things different every year. I tell them I feel like the way I'm explaining it isn't the way that you're understanding it. And so I'm going to stop and teach it another way. Yes, reflect. Reflect on it. And leave notes. Definitely. My first year, I had a planner and I wrote down things on my lessons. And after my lesson, I wrote something that worked and didn't work. So my second year, when I came across, again, for example, measurement, sorry, because I'm teaching measurement, I would read that last year, bringing out manipulatives on the first day was not a good idea. Because they didn't know what they were for yet. I didn't introduce them, nothing. And so it was a mess. So then my second year, no, I haven't taped myself teaching. So my second year I read that and I brought out manipulatives on my third day. My first day I introduced what we were talking about. We talked about measurement, what is measurement. I showed them smartboard examples of measurement, non-examples. To show the right way and the wrong way of how to measure. And then the third day, we got into using manipulatives, and it was a lot smoother. So don't be afraid to stop and just say, my lesson's not working, so I'm going to stop it, and we'll come back to it. And my principal says that too. She likes when teachers aren't afraid to stop their lesson. It doesn't make you any less of a teacher. It doesn't mean that you're failing. It means that you were strong enough and brave enough to admit that your lesson was not working and that you are going to reflect and come back to it tomorrow because that's what's best for your students. What's best for your students is not to finish a lesson because you felt like you had to. So that was 3 good tips. So, man, I think, was that like 15 minutes? I'm not sure. So give me hearts or let me know in the comments. What do you think? Do you think this is like a good weekly Periscope? Do you think this would benefit some of you? Should I continue to do this? What do you guys think? I'm seeing hearts, so I'm seeing this is a good thing. Continue, like, make this weekly. Yes. Okay. Okay, so Wednesdays, I'm going to try and keep it consistent. I think it was like 5 o'clock my time-ish. Okay, good, Shirai, good. So I'm going to try and keep it around this time in my planner. See my planner. I'm going to write what time I started. So I will try and keep it consistent at that time so you know when to look at me. And I'll make a little thing to put on Facebook and Instagram and everything that lets you know it's coming up. Like we have the Teacher Blab Show one, and Shameless Sundays has one. So I'll make that. And then for those of you that want to join in on Wednesdays for Wednesday New Teacher Talk, or anybody else that you think would benefit from this, or if you have friends that aren't on Periscope but they have questions, write down questions and come prepared with some. And have a pencil and paper and write down other people's, maybe somebody else's question is something that you were wondering, you just haven't thought of it yet. So come with a pad of paper and just jot things down. Because I feel like talking to other teachers is an amazing thing for new teachers than having your professor telling you. Because your professor hasn't been an elementary school teacher in a long time either. So think about that. All right, so I'm seeing lots of hearts. Okay, so this was a good thing. So I'll be back later because it's day 4, so it's letter D calligraphy day. And then I'll be back for tomorrow. But Fridays is going to be Rochelle's Rambling, where I tell you about a product that I worked on. And this is going to be, my Friday product is going to be something that is going to be for struggling readers that struggle with blends and digraphs. So my pack that I'll be introducing on Friday that will be live in my TPT store is going to be for struggling readers who need intervention with blends and digraphs. And it's a game. So stay tuned on Friday, Rochelle's Ramblings, where I introduce a new product to you. And other than that, I'll see you on the Blab Show. And I'll see you next Wednesday for New Teacher Talk. Yay, I'm glad. Okay, I'm so glad that this is a good idea. I found my thing. Yay for finding my thing. All right, I will see you guys soon if you watch my calligraphy. Bye.